Tonight, I'm going to tell you some things that you can do to save money. Saving money is important. That way, you have the ability to set some aside into a savings account. If you have a $200 paycheck and you only use $100 of it, then you can put that extra $100 aside to save. If you all of a sudden find yourself without a job, you'll have that savings to draw back on. Or if you've all of a sudden find yourself without a source of income, you reduce how much you're spending, and then it makes it easier to get through. All the things that I'm talking about, most of them, planning ahead is key. I'm going to talk about some free resources that you can use, so you have to plan ahead to make time to use those. And also I'm going to talk about making some things instead of buying them, which of course takes longer than just going to the store and buying them. Like I said in my introductory speech, I recently lost my job. I'm still looking, but it takes a long time to find another career, not just another job to step into. So because we have a savings, we have the opportunity for me to take some time and find the right job to go into. If we didn't, I wouldn't be able to. We've learned that one of the easiest and smartest things to do is only shop when we need something. Also, I've learned that if I make some things, I can save money. Other times I've learned that if I make them, I end up spending more money. I've found free resources that I can go to kind of the luxuries that you may not have the chance to buy anymore. I've Googled and researched, and because I have extra time on my hands, found ways to get these for free instead of using my savings to buy them. I've also, unfortunately, been faced with a few incidents that would have set us back a lot of money if I would have had to make big purchases, but instead I found ways to repair the problem instead of buying something new. Like I said, only shopping when you need to is a big time saver or big money saver. Only going shopping when you need something. That way you're not going shopping just to go shopping as a cardiovascular activity. You see something you want and you make an impulse purchase. Instead, only go when you need groceries or you need to go to get gas. And it's also key to make a grocery list before you go. That way you don't go to the store, forget what you needed, and think, I guess I need a gallon of milk. And then you buy a gallon of milk. You go home to find a gallon of milk. So now you have two. You might not drink both of them in time, so one of them gets spoiled, and that's just money wasted. My next thing is making stuff. People think that if you make it, it's automatically cheaper, but that's not necessarily true. There are some things that making it can save you money. For example, if you make your coffee at home in the morning instead of going to buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, you're saving money right there. If you make dinner at home instead of going out to eat, that's another money saver. But people sometimes think, well, I could sew my clothes instead and make money or save money that way. But that's not necessarily true. You have to buy the patterns, you have to buy the fabric, and then if you mess up, you end up going out and buying something new anyways. So now you've paid twice for something. For example, of some things that on both ends of it, I made this bunny rabbit. Which way is the front? This way is the front. I made this bunny rabbit for my son. After paying for the pattern and the fabric and the stuffing, I ended up paying more than I could have just gone out and buying one. The only reason that I made it is because it has a character on it that he really likes. But thinking, oh, I could make a stuffed animal for cheaper than I could go buy it was wrong, because in the end it costs more. Clothes-wise though, I found a free pattern online. I found fabric on sale, and I ended up making this hoodie for him. And altogether the whole thing cost $3. So I think it was actually less than $3 if you look at it that way, because I didn't use all of the fabric. So some things you can make for cheaper than buying them. I also made him this blanket that technically cost $2 because that's, well, 2 packs, so $4 for the trim that ran around it, because all of it was scrap fabric of things that I already had. So in that case, making it was cheaper than buying it. Free resources that I found to help out. When I say free resources, I'm sure somebody thought I was talking about government assistance, and maybe I kind of am. The library has tons of free resources for you to use. Um, Everybody knows that you can go in and check out hardback books, but they also have the NC Digital Library so that you can download books to play on your computer, on your iPod, on your telephone, on your tablet. So instead of buying them from Amazon, you can rent them for free for a week from the library. They also, of course, have movies and DVDs, and also the digital DVDs and television shows that you can rent from the library, so you don't even have to buy anything. And they're loaners so that you don't get to keep them. But my local library in Henderson County has iPods and tablets, even the Nook. Well, they have the Nook, but they also have the Nobbies for kids, so that instead of buying one, you can check them out from the library and use those for free instead of paying for them. Another way that you can use a free resource is, instead of going to the gym and walking on a treadmill, you could go to the park and walk for free. Or you could walk to the park and not use gas money, and then it's a especially big money saver. Another option is Hulu versus Netflix. There is a paid version of Hulu, but there's also a free version of Hulu that doesn't offer as many things as Hulu Plus or Netflix. But for digital TV, if you're looking to watch an episode that came on 2 weeks ago, it's free instead of paying $7.99 a month. Uh, Lastly, repairs. Repairs do cost money, so you are spending money, but you're spending less money, and that's the key. Um, I unfortunately had an accident with my laptop, um, and the screen shattered. I needed my laptop, or a laptop, and my first thought was, I'm going to have to pay hundreds of dollars while I'm out of work to buy a new laptop. But I thought, well, I hear people all the time talking about fixing phone screens. So if they can do that, why can't they do a laptop? It ended up costing me less than a quarter of the cost of a new laptop just to fix the laptop screen, which I'm using right now, and it works fine. They do this for phones, they do it for tablets, and I'm not doing it yet, but I have a Nook that desperately needs the fix. You can see the screen is shattered. The Nook still works. I just need a new screen on it. So instead of buying a new Nook, which is a luxury right now, so I don't need it today to have it fixed, but when the time comes, instead of buying a new one, I can pay, I think it's $25 for, at the place that I go to, for phones and for tablets. $25, and then the cost of the screen, and it's fixed, instead of paying over $100 to buy a new one. On the same line of repairs, with your car, a properly maintained car lasts longer. If you do not spend the $30, $40 for an oil change because you think that you don't have the money for it, it can lead to more problems down the line that end up costing you a lot more money. So paying for the repair saves you a lot of money. So all these tips I gave you, you can use them and save a little bit of money here and there, or add them all up and save a lot of money in the long run. I gave 4 easy little spots here and there that you can use. Only shop for things that you need, and make sure that you actually need them before you go to the store and forget what it was that you needed. If you have the opportunity, the skills, and it's cheaper, make instead of buying. Use free resources that the community has to offer. And if it's a necessity, repair it instead of replacing it if possible. Do some research and it might end up being cheaper. Uh, just to give you an idea of some of the money that you can save, I mentioned Hulu instead of Netflix. Netflix my plan costs $7.99 a month. I was lucky I get in earlier, so as long as I keep with it, it costs $7.99. And I know it sounds hypocritical to say don't use Netflix, use Hulu, but in my case, we stopped using cable and satellite and we're using Netflix instead, so we cut our bill a lot right there. If we made the jump to instead using the free Hulu package, we would save $7.99 a month, which would end up over $95 in a year. If you drink coffee, 1 cup of coffee a month or 1 cup of coffee a day is it. We're not talking about habitual caffeine drinkers, just 1 cup of coffee a day. Realistically, everyone says, oh, well, it costs pennies to make coffee at home. If you think about the power that you're using to make it, if you think about the coffee creamer, everything that goes into it, I found a website that actually estimated it as 48 cents a cup as a real, honest to goodness estimate instead of people saying, oh, well, it takes 10 cents to make a cup of coffee. Realistically, 48 cents. A regular cup of coffee at Starbucks costs $1.60, which means that if for a year, instead of getting 1 cup of coffee at Starbucks, you drink 1 cup of coffee at home, you'll end up saving over $408. So, save a little money here and there, or make a cup of coffee at home and end up saving over $400 a year.